Good morning. Today is the 27th of August 2024 and I'm going to go through my trading plan for today. Before we start, let's see what could move the market. Today's Tuesday and we've got a bit of news coming out at 9 before the market opens, and there's some news, consumer confidence at 10, so just keep an eye on that. That is potentially could move the market. 10 AM. Okay, so on my screen is the ES and we're looking at the 1 hour time frame. This is the S&P 500 E-mini futures. We're kind of coming into an area I've been watching, or was potentially watching, for a bounce. That's the only bounce area I can see, although we are putting in a bit of a change of trend. Yesterday we put in a new high, not an all-time high, I think we're a bit away from that, but we took out that pivot and then we instantly dropped down. So what I'm really looking for is a rejection today around this region, 56.45. Let's just move a chart in, and that's the current pre-market high. I tried to break and retest a pre-market high yesterday and that failed. I tried it once, twice, 3 times. Every time it looked like it wanted to go. Every time I was in the green, and then every time it stopped me out. That was on the 2 and 5 minute chart. And just looking back over the last few weeks, it's been tough for the pre-market break and retests. There's at least 3 or 4 days where it would have failed. So I'm going to keep an eye on 56.45 for that same play again, break and retest a pre-market high, because we are technically still in an uptrend and we're above the hourly 200 moving average as well. And if we do get up to the pre-market high, we'll be above the 50 moving average as well. So, you know, we are still going with the trend. However, it hasn't really been working out well the last few weeks. I'm also looking for a break and retest short of the pre-market low, and it's currently at 56.16. And we've got a potential bounce area at, was that a news? No, that was from Friday. So we can watch this area for a potential bounce. Let's just see how it sets up for confluence. There's an area confluence as well. So let's just mark that off. So 5600 for a bounce right off the 200 moving average as well. So where are we? So 56.07 down to 56.03. So this region we can watch, and then the main area I'm really watching for a bounce is this 55.86 area, and that's really the area I want to watch for a bounce. It's a big area of confluence, tops pivots, bottoms are pivots from Thursday, big move down, and that's basically the one I'm watching. So here we go. So this would not have worked anyway. This bounce the double bottom there. This is just sold straight through, and that's it. Just to recap then, let me just put my levels back in. I'm watching pre-market high, break and retest long. I'm watching for the rejection again up in this region. It was an area yesterday, even though I lost trying to catch this break and retest of the pre-market high 3 times. I can only allow 2 to 3 losses a day, so I stopped playing, because my other trade was to watch the rejection down as well for double top, and obviously that worked out pretty well, but I was done by that point. So I'm going to watch this area as well for a double top. Could argue saying that we're looking at a bit of a head and shoulders pattern as well. We've got left shoulder, the head, potentially the right shoulder. Neckline can be this 56.07 down to 5600, this region here. And we could look and that's why I quite like the break and retest of that level, pre-market low. And I think that's it really for ES. Let's moving on to SPY. Okay, so we can watch for a higher risk bounce, pre-market low down to 557.50. The main area for a bounce is 555, 555 for the bounce, and again we can watch for the rejection up here at 563.13. and I think that's the all-time high above 565 area. That's it. SPX, even though I don't trade SPX, I do keep an eye on SPX because I only want to go with what the SPX is giving me. So for example, if it's above an area of confidence or a point of control and I'm trying to go short, then I don't want to go short into that area on the SPX. I really want SPX to be below. So I do keep an eye on these levels. This level here is a key area. 5, let's just work it out, it's around 555.66. It's a pivot here, it's a pivot there, came back, we held it, and we can watch that area for the bounce. So if we're coming into 55, let's just put my alert in as well. If we're coming into that 55, 60, 55, 70 area and I'm looking for a long on ES, then I'll be keeping an eye on this. If we lose yesterday's low, then we can watch for a short as well, break and retest short, but we need to be below that level and we need to be below it on SPX and setting up on the ES. NQ is looking a lot weaker. Don't forget there's Nvidia earnings this week as well, which could move this a lot. We've lost, you can see we've lost this trend, come back down, we've retested that area, come back down, and you could say this is a head and shoulders pattern, left shoulder, head, let's just get rid of some of that, left shoulder, head, you could say it's a right shoulder there, and we're looking for a break and retest. So I do quite like if we can come back up and hold, but come into this level, the point of control, and that is at 19,600 down to 19,550. We can look for a rejection, and that's probably the only play I can see. Otherwise, we've got the rejection at 19,700 as well. 19,739, that area there for rejection. And bounces, there's no bounce until we get down into the 1885, 18,800 area. QQQs. Pretty much the same. Yeah, I do quite like these top patterns. It's like curving over. Look for the retest back up into 475.11 for the short, and that's big area of confidence, and it's the point of control as well. We've got some pivots in those areas. Massive area there of indecision where we're just going sideways, and we tried to break out, we lost it and broke down. So I quite like 475 for the rejection, and potentially around this area for another rejection if we come back up into that area, 480 to 482. And then bounce wise, I can't see any bounces. If we do lose this area and we can get through this 200, then I don't see any bounces until we probably get down into this region, 465, 467. But I do quite like QQQ for short, NQ for short right now due to its current weakness. Crude oil, playing the range. Yesterday we talked about this level here, and hopefully someone took it, came right in, rejected it, and come back down. So crude oil is good because it's pretty predictable. I need to start playing it more often. So bounce wise, we can watch pre-market low for a bounce around this 50 moving average. There's just a red line. If we break over pre-market high and yesterday's high, this region here, 77.48, 77.60, I quite like it for the break and retest long into this region, and then that's our rejection area as well. If I zoom out, you can see that's a bit of a wedge shape it's formed. And then bounce wise, if we get back down to that region, 76.33, I like it for the bounce. We are on a big uptrend and we do need to come back to the 50, back to home base a bit. And so I quite like the bounce around that 76, 76.83 area. That's it for crude oil. Gold. Quite like the bounce at 52, 55, 26 area. Didn't really do much yesterday. Look at that low volume as well, or lower volume than the previous days. So it could be just a natural pullback. It's like a volume price analysis. Didn't put in a new high, coming back under low volume, so we can look for the breakout over pre-market high, and that will hopefully complete that bull flag. So this is the pattern I'm looking at. So break and retest a pre-market high, long. I don't really like any rejections, but if we come back down into 50, 25, 60, 26, then I like it for a bounce, basically off of this region. It's a big area, so it's not just it's this region here for a bounce. Oh, hang on. Let's get rid of that. And you can see we've broken out of this wedge pattern, so it's looking pretty bullish. RTY, which is the Russell 2000, looking pretty bullish as well. Big move Friday, but we are putting in this head and shoulders pattern. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So I do quite like it for the retest back up into this region. 22, 25 area for the rejection down. So let's just put in an alert around that area, 22, 22, and that'll be the break and retest for this head and shoulders pattern. Otherwise, we can watch for the bounce down here at 21.88. Let's just put an alert in there as well. I do quite like this, but we are looking bullish based on this month's data, this month's candles, this month's movement. So the bounce down here has got a higher probability, so I'll be watching that 21.88 for the bounce, and obviously if we retest this shoulder, this neckline, I'll be looking for a rejection, and if we break the pre-market high, then that's off, there's no rejection there, we can watch for another long. And then YM, which is the Dow Jones, same pattern there, head and shoulders, and I quite like the bounce down here where the point of control runs through. 41,000 for the bounce, just keep an eye on that. Or if we are retesting the neckline, so it's a high risk rejection right now, exactly here, this area here. So right now it's a high risk rejection, and that's at 41,250. So I do quite like potentially we're under the 50 as well, coming back up, moving averages across. We've got a high amount of volume there as well, so it makes it harder to break through that area. We've been overbought a few times in the last day, so this looks like a good short around this area here. So let's just put my alert in, and I'll keep an eye on this on the 5-minute chart. So that's my alert to see what happens when the market opens, and that's probably the only play I can see. If we break over that level and we get above the pre-market high, we can look for the long as well, break and retest long. Okay, and then Bitcoin, I don't actively day trade this, but I do keep an eye on it, and you can see it's been pretty predictable the last few months in this range. We talked about this big cup and handle pattern. This is a cup, this is a handle, so it's a pretty big bullish pattern, and we're waiting for it to break out here. These are the areas I've taken profit, these areas I've added back in again, so I would like to come back down into this region, 50,000, even 40,000 if we can get down there, so I can add a little bit more to my small amount of Bitcoin. I don't have much. And that's it. Let's have a quick look at order flow on the ES to see whether there's anything unusual. Let's go back to the hourly and then go to order flow. So on my screen you should be able to see the order flow. Not sure that's working. Oh yeah, sorry, yep. Just a bit delayed on my, I've got a thumbnail for what I'm looking at. So the order flow, we can see we've got cumulative delta in the negatives again, but remember it was like that yesterday, and then we had a push up and then we sold off. So, and we also got price, which is also negative declining slope, and I can't see anything unusual. It's just doing exactly what you expect. Are we looking at an inverse head and shoulders here? This is a 2-minute chart. And what levels we're watching? We're watching 56.07 for a bounce. We're a bit away from there, but not too far off it. If we get down to those levels for the bounce, I'll be looking for a lot of buying, a bit like we've got there, lots of orders, and then with lack of sellers. Like here we've got sellers. This is a very strong selling candle because we've got a massive amount of selling imbalances. All the volumes down here, the volumes down here as well. We still had a selling imbalance here, selling imbalances here, and look at that stacked selling imbalance there. That's 4 in a row. So hard to go long when you see these selling imbalances. If there's a reversal, you'll be really want to be looking for multiple stacked. Like this candle here has got lots of buying imbalances. We didn't have much follow through. It sold off. If I'm looking for a bounce at 56.07, I'm also looking for a lack of sellers down here, and I'm looking for buyers to take over. So it's similar to that, but with lower numbers. But you can see the sellers are still interested. We've got unfinished business down here as well, where we've got the bid and the ask. You normally expect to see 0 in that corner on the ask, like we've got here. So usually when there's unfinished business, the market will come back down to that area before it makes a change of direction or continuation. I can't see if there's any other examples. Lack of orders up here as well, selling imbalances, not many buyers. Usually that means we're going to see a move down. We haven't seen it yet. It's just kind of bounced out. It's not. See, when it's like this, it's not when I want to trade. I'm looking for a reversal. We've got negative buying imbalances coming in now. Yeah, there's nothing there really. Nothing what says buy now. Okay, that's it really. 10 minutes before the market opens. There's not much on order flow. There's not much on. We're not close to a bounce point at the moment, so we just stick to the levels. So I'll just quickly go through my levels again. So the levels I'm watching are a bounce around 56.07, primary bounce around 55.88, that area there, bounce off of there. Potentially a break and retest of pre-market low. Let's just say it's low. I mean, this is the pre-market low here. And if we come back up into this area, I'm looking for a rejection off of that area, 56.45 area as well. And then we've got 56.61 for rejection in that area. And that's it. Okay, thank you for watching.